It is a beautiful Friday night here at the Big A, and after the All-Star game being played this week, it is time to get back to work. The Angels kick off a very long homestand, 10 games to be exact. Tonight they kick it off with the Boston Red Sox in town for the first of 4. Let's take a look at the standings in the American League West. The Angels rolled into the All-Star break playing very good baseball, lead the West by a half game over the Houston Astros. As we welcome inside the Big A and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West along with Mark Kubica. I'm Victor Rojas. And go back to Tuesday night in that All-Star game in Cincinnati. Of course, it was once again the Mike Trout show. Second consecutive All-Star MVP. He continues to get the job done.
Well, Zach Greinke goes in there with 35-plus scoreless innings going into that All-Star game. Well, that ended right away. Take a look at our AT&T universe. Rewind Mike Trout versus Zach Greinke. A couple pitches into this ball game. A pretty good pitch to normal hitters. Fastball away. Hits that ball to right field for a solo shot. He's now hit for the cycle and is the first at bat in his first 4 at bats in All-Star competition. The guy has done so many phenomenal things. Who would have doubted he would hit a home run in the All-Star game?
No doubt about that. And I mentioned that the team was playing good baseball going into the All-Star break. You cannot forget about Albert Pujols. That combination going into the break red hot.
Dynamic duo, Victor. The reason why the Angels are in first place by a half a game against the Astros is because of what these two have done this season, first half of the season. 52 combined home runs. Each has 26. The RBI totals, what they've done of late, especially Mike Trout, 5 home runs in his last 6 games. Albert Pujols had 13 big flies in the month of June. He's driving the ball the entire field. He's healthy. We saw that in Home Run Derby, what he can do with the bats. And it's going to be a lot of fun to see these two guys deal here in the second half.
Let's see if the Angels can pick up where they left off playing good baseball. A couple of lefties on the mound. Wilson versus Miley. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. Lineups and first pitch when we return. The Red Sox, the Angels owning a 48-40 record, and 2015 marking the 10th time the Angels reached the All-Star break with sole possession of first place. And it's not a bad thing considering the way this team started off the season, the struggles that they had, the inconsistency they had. You go back to the homestand prior to that last road trip in which the Angels ended up going 6-3, a homestand that easily could have gone 3-6. How that offense was sputtering along, the pitching picked them up, then the offense took over on that road trip.
Yeah, you talked about that homestand, 6-3. They were outscored by their opponents. Great pitching, you mentioned, but really good defense too, especially in the outfield for Mike Socha's club. And then they went to swinging the bats on that road trip, going 7-2. Means they went 13-5 in their last 18 games, putting all those phases together finally.
Well, usually during C.J. Wilson starts at home, everyone hurries up, and then they wait as we await his arrival. Fans, this broadcast of Angels baseball is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting the U.S. Armed Forces, serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. We welcome you to our broadcast, and as always, we thank you for your continued service. CJ's finally arrived on the mound, and we will take a look at the Boston Red Sox starting at 9 as presented by their skipper, John Farrell. Now, Boston, on the other hand, when the Angels played them in May, it was mayhem. Things were going downhill. They were talking about firing Ben Cherington, maybe even John Farrell. They've turned it around a little bit. They find themselves 6.5 back in the East. And this is the lineup that he will run out there tonight. Mookie Betts in center field. Dustin Pedroia, fresh off the DL, is at second base. Xander Bogaerts, a shortstop. David Ortiz at DH. Hanley Ramirez is in left field. Pablo Sandoval at third base. Mike Napoli, of course, had a tremendous series against the Angels at Fenway Park. He's at first. Shane Victorino's back to health, and he's in right field. And Ryan Hannigan will bat ninth and do the catching as they take on C.J. Wilson, making his 19th start of the season. His last start in Seattle, really a mixed bag.
Yeah, an inconsistency with the strike zone. 7-7 so far this year, 3.83. Pretty solid ERA for C.J. Wilson. My go-tos, though, just to add in on as far as the consistency with the strike zone, fastball percentage for strikes, get that up a little bit higher, around 66 to 67%. Very solid as far as strike percentage of his off-speed pitches, but that fastball consistency from both the inside part of the plate and down and away, important for C.J. tonight against this Red Sox lineup that has been swinging the bat well.
Second look at the defense behind Wilson tonight. Daniel Robertson in left field, Mike Trout in center, Cole Calhoun in right. The infield has David Freese and Eric Ibar on the left side. Johnny Giavatello and Albert Pujols on the right, with Chris Iannetta doing the catching.
And Eric Ibar at short anytime with C.J. Wilson on the mound. You're going to have some double play action. You see 35 double plays turned by Eric Ibar this season. 973 fielding percentage as far as shortstops in the American League, which is sixth best. With C.J. on the mound, you're going to get a lot of those double play type opportunities, and Eric Ibar, one of the best as far as turning double plays.
One thing that is noticeable right from the get-go, C.J. Wilson and the Angels wearing the all-white uniform at home. C.J. is usually one of the guys that opts for that alternate red top, kind of like Aaron Richards does.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that a whole lot with C.J. Wilson.
Maybe trying to change up the mojo in the second half.
Yes,
right?
Indeed.
First one tonight, it is outside for ball one. Mookie Betts, center fielder. 277 with 10 home runs and 43 runs batted in. A 328 on base percentage. 22 doubles, 6 triples, and he can run a little bit. Some later in stolen bases. Boston doesn't run a whole lot, but certainly more so than the Angels. Halos have not run at all this year. Just 25 bags on the season for the Angels. Betts hits one out to left. Robertson in a couple of steps. There is the first out of the ball game. Fly ball to left field.
Always good to keep him off the bases because if you do so many things, he disrupt you as a pitcher. You're going to mix in some slide steps. Oh wait, partner, it's good to have you back.
Hey, thanks. Feel a little refreshed. Hope you had some fun in Seattle the last couple of days there. None of the Angels split the Saturday and Sunday games.
Sunday was much better.
That's all that matters. Yeah. You go into the break on a high note.
We always would say that as a team, as a player, it's always good to win on getaway day, and that was the game we won there at the end.
Exactly. There's Pedroia. Mentioned he is just off the disabled list. Went on the shelf on June 25th with a hamstring injury. No rehab needed for the veteran. Back in that lineup, hitting .306 on the year. And there's no doubt that they could use Dustin Pedroia in this lineup.
Still a very productive player. 14 doubles, 9 home runs, 33 runs batted in. More importantly, a catalyst in that clubhouse.
Yeah, it's certainly the heart and soul of that team for John Farrell. There's no doubt about that.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'm always curious to see after that high pitch from C.J. Wilson where he throws way out of the strike zone, which is very difficult to get a hitter to bite at that pitch. The very next pitch is difficult for him to find a spot.
Down and away.
And we've said that a number of times with C.J. Works ahead of the count 0-2, and then that high fastball, the very next pitch, very difficult to get that same arm slot back because you drop your elbow to create that lift from the fastball out of the strike zone.
2-2 now. Pedroia lifts one out toward right center. Calhoun calling off Trout. 2 down. And they'll bring up Xander Bogaerts. The Halos dropped the series to Boston May 22nd through the 24th, the weekend before Memorial Day. Angels took the opening game of that series rather handily, a 12-5 victory. Garrett Richards won that one, but then dropped the next 2. And the last game of that series was against Miley, who actually threw the ball very well against the Angels that Sunday afternoon in Fenway. Bogaerts looks at a strike. Shortstop hitting .304, 3 home runs and 43 runs batted in.
Good off-speed pitch from C.J. So far in this inning, 2 batters he's got ahead of the count 0-2 on.
Misses down low. And it's 1-2. Mentioned the Angels' last homestand went well, 6-3. They've played very well at home this year. 25-18 here. And the last road trip certainly turned around the overall record out on the road. It came over 500 now. Inside out, that's inside the bag. Nothing Pujols could do. It'll roll into foul territory, and it's going to be a 2-out double for Bogaerts, and that's his 20th of the season.
Yeah, you can't do anything defensively against that one. He was coming inside out, just trying to make contact, put the ball in play. The one thing about that pitch, it was upstairs. And when it's upstairs, you can fight that one off, and that's exactly what he did. It was in the inside part of the plate, but it was upstairs. Fights it right down the right field line for his 20th double of the season.
So man in scoring position with 2 outs and David Ortiz. Huh? .231 batting average, 15 home runs, 43 runs batted in. Swings and misses on a breaking ball. Boston overall as a team has struggled against left-handed pitching this year. .234 collectively. .264 against right-handers. Played the shift. Ibar almost right up the middle, behind the bag at second. Little Bayou fastball.
Back fastballs with this cut action on the outside part of the plate. I'm CJ. I'm going the same thing. Go down and away. Force him to hit the ball to left field. But if you keep it down, it's more difficult for him to square that up.
Tried to hold up, fouls it back, and he elevates that fastball.
Well, you see the reaction by CJ after he threw that. He wanted that ball down, and that was upstairs. Now, it wasn't a full swing from Ortiz, but it was still enough of the plate. You can flare that ball in the left field. Very difficult to flare a ball into the outfield when it's down at the knees or just off the outside corner, especially being ahead of the count again, 0-2.
Ibar now moves back to the shortstop side of second base. And that one misses down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ortiz a .147 batting average with men in scoring position this year. Cole deep at right. Of course, mentioned Robertson shallow in left. Trout shallow in center. Freeze off the line at third. 2 outs and a man in scoring position, just underway. Bogaerts takes off. This one shot over to Freeze. Did not move. That ball almost got Bogaerts, but it's the 3rd out of the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Giamatella, Calhoun, and Trout coming up for the Angels. For the Halos, mentioned a half game up of the Astros in the West. Giamatella at second base, Calhoun at right, Trout at center, Pujols at first base, Ibar playing shortstop, Freeze at third, Crow the DH, Iannetta behind the plate, Robertson batting ninth, playing left field as they take on a 28-year-old Louisiana native by the name of Wade Miley.
Wade Miley, you mentioned before, he threw a very good game against the Angels up at Fenway Park, 8-8 this season. With my go-tos against Wade Miley to be successful against him. We'll get to that in a second. Head of the count right here. My go-tos to be successful against Miley. He works quickly. Is make him throw strikes. When he's behind in the count, becomes very hittable. Turn all pitches in and serve those little change-ups away against him.
Down in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike on Giamatella, hitting .271. His 3 home runs and 33 runs batted in. Little dribbler on the left side. Miley off the mound. Red Sox defensively tonight have Ramirez, Betts, and Victorino on the outfield from left to right. Sandoval, Bogaerts, Pedroia, and Napoli around from third to first with Hannigan behind the dish.
Our old friend Mike Napoli playing at first base for Boston. Committed 6 errors in 78 games with Sandoval and Napoli, both known for swinging the bat more so than with the glove. I would assume at some point you're going to press that issue as far as maybe dragging a bunt down the first base line or pushing one down the third base line. Put some pressure on those corner infielders' defense.
Cole Calhoun has a 1 ball, no strike count, 265 on the year, 10 home runs, 47 runs batted in. Nice little road trip for Cole. 317, 3 home runs, and drove in 11. 3-city trip: Texas, Denver, and Seattle. One and two.
Miley's fastball is 88 to 93. Throws a slider, curveball, pretty solid changeup. Again, he does not waste any time in between pitches.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Miley making his 19th start, just like Wilson tonight. 8-8, a 4.80 ERA. That start on May 24th against the Angels went 8 innings, gave up 4 hits, and allowed just 1 run. Miley taking a little bit longer than usual. So Cole backs out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Trout on deck. That's a called strike 3, 2 outs.
Just been off the outside corner. Hannigan's a very good catcher, solid defender. Frames pitches well, throws well. So now 25% of would-be base stealers. That was more of a product of a nice job by a catcher keeping that glove still and giving Bob Davidson a chance to call it a strike.
Trout takes down and in. They play 3 infielders on the left side with Trout up. Also had a terrific road trip. As a matter of fact, he was named American League Player of the Week ending July 12th. What's it a strike? Hit .382, had 5 home runs and 11 runs batted in on that road trip.
Well, those home runs he hit on the road trip seemed to get out in about 2 seconds. That one we showed in Coors Field, hit speed off the bat was 119.7 miles per hour, and it got out in 2 seconds.
There's the 1-2. Side, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trout and Pujols tied for the home run lead on this team with 26. Albert's got it by 1 RBI. Little chopper. This is Pedroia from the shortstop side. Low throw. Napoli has it, and the Angels go down in order. 1 in the books here at the Big A. We're scoreless.
By clean, crisp, was light. The Angels, the last 4 times they've won the division, they've been in first place at the All-Star break. And the Angels, the All-Star break, up by a half a game. Just saying, done it 4 in a row. Why not 5?
You never know, right?
Just saying.
Hanley Ramirez, Pablo Sandoval, Mike Napoli here to face C.J. Wilson in the second. Hanley, the left fielder, hitting .274, 19 home runs and 46 runs batted in. This one out toward shallow left center. Robertson or Trout. It's going to be Trout. 1 down. Hey folks, the Angels summer pass sale ends on Monday at noon. For only $99, receive 20 tickets to great upcoming summer games. For more information to purchase your pass, visit angels.com/summer pass. Summer pass. Summer pass time.
Yes.
Monday at noon. Paulo Sandoval takes ball one. Low strike. CJ will take it. Evens a count of 1-1. Angels did not see Sandoval in that series at all, except for the a pinch hit appearance in the Sunday game. He's dealing with a sore knee after being hit by a pitch. The Monday prior to that weekend series.
Sandoval 2 for 2 in his career versus CJ.
He's got a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Breaking ball away. It's a full count now. With Napoli on deck. Sandoval tardy on that pitch, and that hit a fan. Ball got into the seats very quickly. Here's another payoff. Reaches for this one, flips it into the seats again.
I think you're seeing from CJ tonight throwing this cut fastball to left-handed batters. So a couple of them to David Ortiz. That was a cut fastball. Sandoval going away. Can be effective. You can start on that outside corner and have it cut off the corner.
And he walks him. It's the first free pass issued by Wilson. Puts a man on for Napoli.
First baseman, number 12, Mike.
Napoli's average just at 193. As a matter of fact, there's been rumors as we get closer and closer to the non-waiver trade deadline of July 31st. Whether the Red Sox even keep him around. It's been a very down year for Napoli. Although against the Angels, that weekend series, he went off. 5 for 9 with 4 home runs.
8 RBI. 333 career hitter with 18 home runs against his former team.
He looks at the strike. Albert having to deal with that sunshine, the ribbon of sunshine cutting across. Napoli fooled on the off-speed pitch. He's in the hole here, 0-2.
Fourth time in this game so far for CJ. 0-2 ahead of the count.
That's in the dirt. Gets away from Iannetto. Sandoval will take second.
It's the 11th wild pitch of the season for CJ Wilson, a changeup. See him turning over that changeup. And the spin on that pitch, it hits off the arm of Chris Iannetto, gets away from him. With Sandoval in the scoring position for a guy that's had some good numbers, at least the power numbers against CJ Wilson and Mike Napoli.
1-2 now. Down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3 home runs in his career, 6 RBIs against CJ. He's had by far the most at bats of any other Boston Red Sox against Wilson. count. So from 0-2 to a full count.
Seen that a couple times already. That's the thing for CJ. He gets into that point where he gets ahead 0-2 and just tries to make too fine of a pitch. Instead of using that hitter to get him aggressive against you, just make a pitch just barely out of the strike zone to finish it off quickly.
Shane Victorino on deck. Swing and a miss. Down goes Napoli. Got him on an off-speed pitch. 2 down.
Another good changeup from CJ. Changeup varies from between 84 to 87 miles an hour. Gets him out in front. Turns that changeup over. Napoli reads fastball, but an 87 mile an hour changeup gets the swing and miss.
Two stints on the DL for Victorino this year. Strained left calf, the last one, on the shelf back in the late April for a hamstring issue. Fouls this one back. Another
nice play.
Count.
With using the one hand to make a play on that pop-up.
Sandoval at second and the 1-2. Got him looking. Bob Davidson rings a Victorino, and that'll do it for the Red Sox here in the second. We'll head to the bottom of the frame with no score.
For the Halos to be successful, a little OMI, a little cheerleader with Albert Pujols. We talk a lot about what Mike Trout has done with the glove, with the wheels, with the bat. Albert Pujols, the same thing. Not only leader as far as offensive numbers, but also leading that clubhouse and that dugout so well this year.
Halos went down in order in the first innings. It'll be Poole, Sybar, and Freeze here in the second. This one popped up behind the plate. Hannigan will give it a look, but it's in the seats.
Well, that All-Star game, Albert just looked so comfortable and having so much fun being in that Angel uniform, representing the club for first time in the All-Star game. Tell me today he had a blast there in Cincinnati.
I like the new format for the home run derby with the clock.
That was excellent.
Yeah.
A lot more energy because of that in the crowd.
I actually lasted longer than just the first two batters than I normally do. It's boring after a while.
Yeah, I mean, it takes forever.
Yeah.
So many takes, waiting for that perfect pitch, but with the time and the clock, you have no choice but to up there hacking.
Albert takes a called strike 3. Apparently got the bottom part of the strike zone. There's the first down. Second strikeout for Miley.
Coming up later in the game, we'll check out the big news from around the majors on the Carlos Jr. Sports Update. The Shark was on the mound in Chicago tonight, but did it go well for him? A couple leaders in their division battling tonight in the nation's capital.
Eric thought about bunting, takes a strike. 287 on the year. A couple of home runs and 27 driven home. On base percentage has gone up as well. Is down low. Had the second best average on that road trip. 486, 5 doubles, scored 9 runs. C.J. Crone had the best batting average on that road trip. This one's rolled softly to third. 2 down.
One thing you see from Miley right away, again, he's throwing that fastball, the slider, cutter in on the hands of right-handed batters. You got to get that bat head out a little bit quicker against them. Pitches inside very effectively against right-handed batters. And he pitches down in the strike zone. Well, he's only given up. So he's given up 9 home runs so far this year and over 101 innings pitched so far coming into the game. And that's pitching the majority of games in Fenway Park. So that's how effective he is as far as keeping the ball down and pitching inside.
The Halos have pretty much done exactly the same, whether it's a righty or a lefty on the mound as a team. 250 right down the middle. This one's grounded to short. Bogarts, plenty of time. The Angels go down in order for the second straight inning. 2 complete and still no score. Data strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast. And it's brought to you by T-Mobile. Top of the third, 9-1-2 coming up for Boston. Hannigan, Betts, and Pedroia. CJ with a couple of strikeouts and a walk. Hannigan, the catcher, hit a 237. Home run and 9 runs batted in. One ball, one strike. Spock and Bob Davidson calling the Boston strikes tonight. Hunter Wendelson at first, David Rackley at second, and Marvin Hudson over at third.
Well, early on, good changeup from C.J. Wilson. We talked about that strike percentage of his off-speed pitches this year. Over 60% of his off-speed pitches have been in the strike zone. That's a solid changeup for Wilson.
Nowhere near the location that Chris Iannetta wanted. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. This crowd on this Friday night. Full count.
Third full count in this game for CJ so far. Speed differential, best fastball has been 93, his slowest changeup 84.
And the ninth place hitter has drawn a walk to start the third.
Center fielder, number 50, Mookie Betts.
Well, you look at the comparison of 2 pitchers through 2 innings coming in this one now in the 3rd inning. CJ with 4 fly ball outs, 2 strikeouts. Miley with 2 strikeouts and 4 ground ball outs. Generally, CJ's a very good ground ball pitcher. All the outs have been strikeouts or fly ball outs so far for CJ. Looking for that ground ball double play now.
Tough guy to double up, and Mookie Betts. Fly ball to left in the first. And he will take low. The difference, too, between the 2 starters tonight is that Miley, when he's gotten ahead, he's finished guys. Hasn't wasted any pitches and tried to do anything fancy. While CJ continues to dance around the strike zone.
But he's got ahead a lot of the hitters, too.
Betts gets underneath one out the left. Pretty good hack at it. Robertson underneath it. Puts it away for the first down.
That had some serious hang time. When the balls hit that high and that pretty far, too, it means he just missed that one.
Pretty good bat whip through the zone for Mookie Betts. So Pedroia bats with Hannigan at first. No score here in the third. This one down the right field line. Cole racing over. Gets there, puts it away, 2 down. Like those 1 pitch outs, that's for sure.
Especially against this patient Boston club. Doesn't seem to be quite as patient as they have been in the past.
They're 5th this year in on-base percentage as a team. Had a couple of guys that have dragged down that number. Pablo Sandoval being one of those for sure in his first year. They're 4th in batting average as a team. 9th in home runs. 9th in runs scored. As we mentioned in the open, they've played better. Since June 16th, they've gone 15-9. And the team that was quote unquote dead or kind of just treading water in the American League. He starts the second half. Just 6.5 back. A division that seems to be wide open.
Well, about a couple weeks ago, they had 4 teams over 500. Now just 1 team coming in the game today, and that was Tampa. And they lost today. Toronto beat them.
Ground ball toward the hole. Ibar will go to second base. They force out Hannigan. And that'll do it for the Red Sox as we head to the bottom of the third. Still scoreless here at Angel Stadium. By Chevrolet, Clint Dempsey and Team USA continue their quest for a second consecutive Gold Cup title when they take on Cuba. Coverage begins at 1:30 Pacific on your local Fox station, streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
That's a tough match.
Dempsey, beat the living snot out of Cuba, will you?
Going USA,
Yeah,
USA, aren't you?
Absolutely. Until those clowns are out of Cuba. I will go back there one of these days with my mom and dad. We were born there.
Yes.
But not until it's the right time. So go USA.
Go USA.
Just pound them. Crone fouls off this one. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Like your passion for Team USA.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yes. Passion for USA.
For USA.
Yes.
Staying positive on that side.
Oh, yeah.
1-2 on Crone, the DH tonight. He's raised his average 269 after going. They're hitting 552 on the road trip. 3 home runs and 11 runs batted in. This one's slowly hit to short. Bogart challenge. Going down.
Boy, another ground ball out for Miley in this game. 5 of them. And a 3 for 7 who's come to the plate against Miley in his career.
Well, Miley, that game on the 24th at Fenway, retired the first 15 in a row before a walk to Iannetta in the 5th inning, and then Crone with a single. He only allowed 4 hits against the Angels in that start.
Both these lefties favor the third base side of the pitching rubber, which is kind of unusual. Usually lefties start the middle to the first base side of the pitching rubber. This allows them to get to that outside part of the plate against righties with good deception, and also get inside, especially with both their cut fastballs between C.J. Wilson and Miley, both getting inside with that cutter.
Just below the strike zone. 3 balls and 1 strike. First 3-ball count for Miley. Chris hitting 191, has 5 home runs, 5 doubles, 19 RBIs. Now he's got 4.
Time back in Louisiana, he was neighbors with Britney Spears.
There's a nugget of information.
There you go.
Iannetta goes down swinging for the 2nd out. 3rd strikeout for Miley.
I think you would like that one.
Absolutely. Anytime you can work Britney Spears on the broadcast,
no doubt.
Feel free. Carte blanche, my friend. Hey, fans, the Angels host the Twins on Tuesday at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive a Hawaiian Angels hat, courtesy of Chevron Extra Mile, while supplies last. Purchase your tickets today at the Angels Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com. Robertson takes inside. So just picture some Hawaiian music in the background, and this is what the Hawaiian hat looks like here.
What Hawaiian hat?
I don't know, but I'm thinking of soft sounds on the beach.
Yes, I don't blame you,
dude. Right now you look like Lou Piniella. This is how Lou Piniella used to wear his hat, folks.
Lou Piniella right here.
Sweet Lou.
There you go. This showing how perfect this hat is. It's a good look. Very comfortable.
Can you give us a little hula dance? Come on.
We'll wait for the
Get
day.
us ready for Hawaiian week.
We'll wait for that time.
All right. You tease. Robertson takes inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is a 4-game series, the old wraparound series. Finishing up on Monday, and the Twins in for 3 and Texas in for 3. 2-2, got him looking. Down goes Robertson, and that is 9 up, 9 down for Wade Miley. We head to the 4th with no score. Boston Red Sox. Stay tuned later tonight on the postgame show for the business of sports. Brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by AutoNation Fiat South Bay. Ortiz, Ramirez, and Sandoval here in the fourth. That is pretty much the cover of the 2015 Boston Red Sox media guide.
That's a good call.
All three smiling in spring training. Oh, 2 count.
CJ has pitched Ortiz very, very well throughout his career. He's 3 for 21.
That high fastball that misses. 1-2. Wilson with 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 hit allowed. That was a double to Bogarts into first.
And there it is again, that high fastball followed by another pitch out of the strike zone for CJ. And you sense the frustration. Trying to gather himself, get back to his good mechanics.
And this one line to center on a 2-2 pitch that was up.
Yeah, he's ahead 0-2, Victor. And he swung it. Curveball, slider. Why not throw another slider out of the strike zone and see if you can finish him off quickly? Instead, you gave him 2 high fastballs, and he tracks this breaking ball upstairs because of the 2 high fastballs. Gave that eye level where he could see it and punch that ball into the outfield. Stayed back well because that's 3 pitches in a row that are upstairs. It gives a hitter a better chance against you.
Hanley, a fly ball to center field to second. 0 for 1. There's 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Just a second hit allowed by Wilson. Second straight inning in which the leadoff man has reached. Hannigan worked a walk at third, but no damage there as CJ got the next 3 guys.
Hanley's rolled into 10 double plays. CJ trying to get a ground ball and an infielder here.
Chops this one to Freeze. Fires over to Giavitello. The relay back to first. Make that 11 double plays. 2 down.
Well turned by David Freeze. Quickly fires over to Giavitello. 1 hop. Perfect feed. That level allows Giavitello to get it away from Ortiz's slide. Throws it over there to first base for a 5-4-3 double play. It's all about that feed from David Freeze high enough to allow Giavitello to get out of the way of Ortiz and that slide.
Sandoval was chasing that breaking ball. No balls and a strike. Drew a walk in the second inning. Former switch hitter. He's ditched, batting right-handed this year. This one's bounced toward the middle. Struggling against right-handed pitching, and in May decided to just ditch it all together. He swung the bat better of late, but this time it's a ground out. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Top of the order coming up with no score.
game for our special All-Star edition of Angels Weekly. If we has all the sights and sounds and a behind-the-scenes look at the Midsummer Classic. And I caught up with first-time All-Star Hector Santiago today, who said there's kind of an unofficial tradition where all the All-Star players get something for their teammates. So each of them got something for all their teammates. Trout got them shorts, Pujols got them golf shirts, and Hector got All-Star balls for all their teammates because he said they are the ones who helped them get to the All-Star game. Victor?
Thanks, Alex. Looking forward to that. 1 ball, 1 strike on Johnny Giavatello. Angels looking for their first base runner of the ball game. Johnny, a little dribbler back to the mound on his first at bat. Four strikeouts, no walks, and not a hit allowed for Miley. Sandoval playing it over at third, just in case. Looked like pretty close to the strike zone. It's a miss, and it's 3-1. And really, considering the way Miley has pitched now, the second start against the Angels this year, why not take your chances if you've got the ability to drop down a bunt, especially with Sandoval over at third and Napoli at first. This one's out to right field. Chasing Victorino back, and he will make the catch. 1 down.
Yeah, I mean, he's around the strike zone. He's downstairs with a lot of his pitches, which is much easier to bunt exactly where you want to put it when it's down in the strike zone, as far as his changeup or fastball slider when it's downstairs, as far as push bunting or drag bunting.
And a pretty good fielding pitcher. I mean, he's a very athletic guy on the mound, so you've got to make sure that you get that ball, toward the lines and make those corner infielders field it. Sandoval with 10 errors at third base. Napoli is 6 over at first. Cole struck out looking in the first inning. Takes a strike here.
And one thing you look for Miley, I mean, they both, CJ and Miley, both on the same side of the pitching rubber, but Miley throws across his body a little bit more. You can see where his landing spot is as he follows through on his delivery as compared to CJ. CJ's more of a straight line towards home plate. Miley throws across his body enough to create better deception and hide the ball better.
One, two now. Downstairs. Trout on deck. Second full count for Miley tonight. Cole bounces it foul. Alfredo Griffin watches it go by.
It's a little nugget for you here, Victor, too. Ooh, Miley's friends with a number of members of that reality show, Swamp People.
How about that?
Yeah. A little fun fact for you.
Yeah. The more you know, Gooby.
Yep. Swamp People.
Can't say that I've got that one on my DVR. I'll have to go Netflix. Cole lifts one out to left. Harris makes the grab for the second out. Almost too many reality shows now.
I can't say that I really watch a whole lot of them, to be honest with you. No? Maybe this off season.
And here I pegged you for a Kardashian fan.
well, certainly, no, that's one.
That's one.
There you go.
That's one.
That's one reality show. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know my daughter watches that one a lot, and every once in a while I stop by to look at it.
1-0 count on Trout. He grounded out to Pedroia in the first inning. That was in the shift. Let's see where they were playing him. Back-to-back All-Star MVP.
Unbelievable. Now, what we talked about on the pregame show, when he scored from second base on that base hit, I think it was Prince Fielder, that Jock Peterson charged and had the ball in his glove as Mike Trout was just touching third base, yet scored rather easily. It was very, very impressive. That speed for Mike Trout. Who now leads the American League in that category, scoring runs again this year, which if he does that, it'll be the first time ever, 4 straight years, start a career for Mike Trout.
And he did that, getting to that lead with that 11 runs he scored on the road trip. Trout strikes out on a pitch down and in. That's 12 up, 12 down for Miley. We will head to the 5th with no score. An EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. This car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By AT&T Uverse. More live channels on the go than cable.
And by Subaru. Test drive the all-new 2015 Subaru Forester or go to Subaru.com to learn more.
Top of the 5th inning with no score. C.J. Wilson to face the bottom third of the order. Wade Miley, I should say, has been fantastic. Has not allowed a base runner through 55 pitches in 4 innings. He's made it look rather easy. It's not as if CJ is pitching poorly either. He's had a couple of base runners. He's worked around that. He's got Napoli, Victorino, and Hannigan here in the 5th. Napoli, a little flare as Giavotella backpedaling out, and he'll put it away for the first out. They go for 2 now. Struck out back in the second.
Yeah, CJ's starting to get back to that ground ball. Actually, it's a pop-up in the infield there, but last 4 outs via the ground ball for CJ Wilson, which is his norm.
Victorino struck out looking. Second, nice curveball from Wilson. Oh, and 2. The flying Hawaiian has been grounded recently over the years due to injuries. This little flare out to left field. Robertson will let it drop in for a base hit.
Went down and got a changeup. Not a bad pitch from CJ. Yeah, he was incredibly popular in Philadelphia. Victorino, part of that World Championship club in 2008.
Hannigan with a walk in the 3rd. Bats here with 1 out, 1 on. It's a 3rd hit allowed by CJ.
All 3 hits not squared up though. Bogarts, a ground ball down the first base line, was jammed on it. Ortiz, little flare into the outfield. Same thing there for Victorino. So CJ's certainly thrown the ball well tonight.
Pulled foul. 0-2 count.
It's an 8th 0-2 count in this game for CJ Wilson. So 66 pitches so far, 41 strikes, 25 out of the strike zone.
He has not one time gone down and in to a right-handed batter on an 0-2 count. You mentioned how many 0-2 counts he's had tonight.
And he's got a good sharp slider. It's a perfect pitch for him to throw and get a swing and miss to get through the at bat quickly.
And I only say that just from the standpoint it's almost automatic that it's going to be an elevated pitch after 0-2.
And in this game nowadays they have those reports. What do you do when you get ahead 0-2? CJ Wilson likes to go upstairs with his fastball.
There's another one that misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Richards right next to Mike Butcher on the hill tomorrow night.
Hannigan takes a called strike 3. Looked like he was anticipating something down at it. 2 outs.
Good fastball at 90 from CJ Wilson. Goes inside, target set perfectly by Iannetta. Keeps the glove right there on the inside corner, gets the call. Perfect pitch from CJ.
Mookie Betts, the center fielder, twice has hit a fly ball to left field. He's 0 for 2.
Victorino, not much of a lead at first. He has no stolen bases this season yet, although he can run. He hasn't really established much of a lead yet.
An 0-1 count. Boston out on the road this year, 20-24 away from Fenway. Not too long ago, the ownership, the Red Sox, basically giving John Farrell blessing everything's all right. Sometimes that's not a good thing when you hear from upper management. They've been able to play a little bit better of late.
A lot invested in this club this year. A lot of money, long term.
This one's out to center field, hit pretty well. Trout racing back, pulls up, will make the catch shy of the track. Red Sox are done here in the 5th. We'll head to the bottom of the inning. Still no score.
Of last season in the 19th inning, Albert Pujols against Workman goes the other way for a walk-off home run. His first walk-off home run as an Angel as he leads off this 5th inning for the Halos.
Halos still looking for that first base runner. Miley has been perfect through 4 with 5 strikeouts. Albert went down looking to lead off the second. Looks at the strike. Pretty much Miley has worked the middle half of the strike zone and on down from there with both the fastball and the changeup tonight. The bouncer left side. Bogarts to his right. Going away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by Authority of the Los Angeles Angels. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Eric Ibar grounded out to Sandoval in the second inning at bat. Bounces this one. Dribbler up the third base line. It goes foul. Eric finally makes his way back to home plate.
Glenn was just trying to throw him off his rhythm. Miley does not move around it much at all. And that dirt, the mound, stays right on the pitching rubber. Change up again from Miley. Talked about what you try to do with that changeup is serve it in the right field if you can. Stay back long enough. Let it travel to the strike zone and deeper in the strike zone.
There's a changeup and it's fouled off. The count remains at 1-2. Miley originally a supplemental first-round pick, 43rd overall back in 2008 by the Diamondbacks. Acquired in the offseason with Ruby De La Rosa and Alan Webster, along with Raymel Flores. Just off the plate. Full count. Freeze on deck. Scoreless here in the bottom of the 5th inning. There's a called strike 3. Right down the pipe. And that's how effective the off-speed pitch has been tonight, where you've seen right-handed batters take those pitches.
Because he's been able to throw his changeup away for strikes, 2-seamer away, and then he'll bust that 4-seam fastball inside. That one at 94. When you pitch in and out so effective, you can throw your off-speed pitches for strikes. You're going to get a lot of those odd looks when you miss a fastball that you think you can drive.
So Miley has matched his May 24th performance against the Angels, in which he retired the first 14 guys at the plate. He issued a walk to Iannetta at Fenway Park, and that was followed by a single. Let's see what Freeze has in store here. David grounded out to Bogarts in the second. He's 3 balls and no strikes.
His differential in his speed so far in this game. His best fastball at 95. His slowest pitch, curveball at 76.
With location on both. Deadly.
In and out. Pitching east to west. And we see CJ going upstairs, downstairs, north to south. But Miley just the opposite, going east to west on all his pitches.
3-1, chopper to second. Pedroia has it on 2 bounces. So make that 15 up, 15 down for Wade Miley. We head to the 6th inning, still no score.
Wade Miley's been outstanding so far, getting the All-Star Albert Pujols on an off-speed pitch and a curveball against the All-Star Mike Trout. C.J. Wilson has been very good himself in a 5-4-3 double play against Ramirez. Dealing throughout this game, both pitchers top of their game here to start the second half after the All-Star break.
Pretty good pitchers dueled. CJ's allowed 3 hits in his 72 pitches. Miley has been perfect through his 70 pitches and through 5. Pedroia, Bogarts, Ortiz here in the 6th inning. Dustin Pedroia twice hit a fly ball to right field. The last time up did it on just 1 pitch. A quick out. First game back off the disabled list. No rehab for the veteran second baseman. I got a feeling that's going to be the same thing for Jared Weaver as well.
Yeah, he's going to throw a simulated game probably Monday, Tuesday maybe. And then 4 or 5 days later, back in the rotation.
Down the line foul, 1-2. Did for a sim game yesterday, and then like you said, 4 or 5 days later, 4 or 5 days later, and then get evaluated again.
And he went about 50 pitches last time out yesterday. And stretched it out to about 4 innings. Trying to get that pitch count up, and at that point, if he feels good, like talking to Mike Butcher today, I didn't think that Jerry would go out on a rehab assignment. He'd be ready to go, part of the rotation.
1-2. It's a bouncer to second. You like that more so for a veteran player, don't you?
Yeah.
Why waste the bullets in a rehab start, especially for pitching?
Yeah, I mean, you know exactly what it takes to get ready, and we talked to him a number of times in this whole process of trying to get back, you know, rehabbing that hip. He's feeling good. He's feeling healthy right now. It's just trying to build the arm strength back up. He feels that he can get that done in a rehab simulated type environment and then get ready to go and pitch at the major league level once again. I never was fond of going down in those rehab assignments. You want to make those pitches up at the major leagues, unless it's been a real long period of time when you've been out as a hitter. Sometimes you want to see some pitches first. Same thing when you're on the mound, you want to see some hitters. But you get to see that when you have a simulated game anyhow.
Two balls and a strike on Xander Bogaerts. Number 3 hitter and shortstop. He doubled in the first, fielder's choice in the third. Two balls, 2 strikes, and on the injury front, Houston Street feeling better. A groin issue that happened finishing off a game against the Rockies in Denver. Swing and a miss. Down goes Bogart. Chases that high fastball. 4th strikeout of the game for Wilson. 2 down.
Back to my Hyundai key for this game. Okay, we're talking about Albert Pujols, cheerleader, leading this club. Might have to do it with the glove at this point, but I also know that he'll go in there after this inning and talk to C.J. Cron, who leads off, and just to tell him what to look for, especially early in the count. That's important for Pujols to be able to explain that for a young hitter like C.J. Cron. Look for something early in the count against Miley, because he has not made any mistakes yet in this game.
Ortiz cues one off the end of the bat. Ibar can't get there, and it finds itself into the outfield. Grabs a 2-out single. 2nd hit of the night for Ortiz.
Both hits have been pretty much the same area. Giavitello, Eric Ibar trying to get to that point, especially with the shift on. Not only it's difficult for an infielder to read that because it's off the end of the bat and it's tailing away. It's off the very end of the bat, so you have a little bit more action on the baseball. A dangerous hitter right now for CJ. Even though he made a quality pitch against Ortiz, you just got to clear the mind right now and get back keeping this ball down and away against Ramirez.
Hanley a fly ball to center, a double play ball is 0 for 2. Broken bat, little flare to Ibar, and we will head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Cron, Iannetta, and Robertson looking for the Angels' first base runner of the game.
The Royals beat Chicago 4-2.
Cron swinging first pitch, lifts one out to center. Betts is there. 1 down.
And the leaders go at it in the nation's capital. The Dodgers in town to take on the Nationals. The Nationals were leading 3-2. The game has been suspended a couple different times during the course of that game. The lights went out in Washington. At this point, the Nationals leading that game 3-2 will resume tomorrow. That's a shocker.
Yeah. Apparently Max Scherzer saying that the last person to use that ballpark was Taylor Swift. I think he's maybe blaming her for the power outage or outages. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Wow, blaming Taylor Swift?
I think I just trumped your Britney Spears, by the way.
A little bad blood?
Hashtag.
You did. You topped me. Couple days off and you refresh, you topped me. Old topper.
Just call me Tommy. Iannetta strikeout victim in the 3rd, 0 for 1. 3-1 count. Miley perfect so far with 1 out here in the 6th. And there's a walk, so no longer perfect. And remember, it was Iannetta that snapped that streak at Fenway with a walk. And now Dan Robertson will come up with a man on. First time Miley worked from the stretch.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you've been in the full windup the whole game, and all of a sudden you're deep into a game and you haven't been in that stretch position, usually that first batter, there's an adjustment to make as far as pitching from the stretch. Like Daniel Robertson, you're looking for something out over the plate. You can drive maybe to the right center field. And for that mistake, it should be elevated that first pitch or so from the stretch.
Boy, Iannetta was tired to get back to first base there.
He's got a great move. 3 pickoffs this year for Miley. He's allowed 1 stolen base in 2 attempts. So you're going to station against him.
Oh, 1 count on Robertson, who struck out looking at the 3rd. The pitch appeared to be off the plate.
An elevated changeup.
Another changeup that is rifled into the seats behind the Red Sox dugout. Oh, 2 count. Giavatella on deck. Oh, nice play by John.
Not that far away from the batter's box himself.
No. I'm surprised more pitchers don't complain about not just what Johnny's doing, but Angels pitchers complain about visiting teams doing the same thing. This was pulled foul. Trying to get a better angle, a better view at the pitcher.
Certainly an advantage if you're a hitter. It's something you're real happy about when you're on the mound and you see him that close.
One and 2. At some point, might as well just go down to the Boris suite directly behind home plate. Now, Scott, hey, do you mind if I sit here for a couple of pitches? Trying to get a read on Miley.
Yeah, right behind home plate. See if I can see the rotation of the baseball. See what sequence he's going to try to do against me.
1-2 out toward left center. Ramirez racing over. And he's there. 2 outs. Iannetta back to first. We'll spin the lineup back to the top with Giavatella coming up. Angel second baseman 0 for 2. A bouncer back to Miley. And a fly ball to right in the 4th. Halo still looking for their first hit. Just got their first base runner with 1 out here in the 6th. Iannetta. Look at the base on balls. Scoreless as well.
Boy, bat's playing extremely shallow in center field.
Ground ball to short. And the Angels will still be looking for their first hit when they hit the 7th. We'll head to the top of the inning with no score. Serving the needs of the military community for over 90 years. By Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you could save. And by Hyundai, great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Pitchers duel tonight, game 1 after the All-Star break. Scoreless as we start the 7th. C.J. Wilson has allowed 4 hits tonight, no runs. Wade Miley is not allowed a hit through 6 and just 1 base runner, and that was the walk to Iannetta. Sandoval, Napoli, Victorino for Boston here in the 7th inning. Wilson at 85 pitches, 54 good strikes. It's only really a prolonged inning, or innings if you will, the first 2. Sandoval chops this one over to Giavatello. So in the first inning threw 17 pitches, in the second 20. Didn't really get in a whole lot of trouble. But he's been able to work out of the guys in scoring position in the first 2 innings.
I love those 1-pitch outs, especially as the game progresses. He had a couple 1-pitch outs in this game.
Napoli 0 for 2. Strikeout on the pop-up.
Dangerous count now against Napoli for C.J. Wilson. 2-0 count. You don't have to give in and challenge him with a fastball. If you do, you have to try to keep that one down, away. See if you get a ground ball. Don't try to challenge him in necessarily.
3 balls and no strikes. He's got Napoli on a couple of good off-speed pitches. Strikeout in the second inning. The pop-up in the 5th. He's swinging 3-0. Bounces it foul.
Yeah, he knew he was going to be out there hacking 3-0.
And there is a walk. 3rd walk of the ball game issued by Wilson. Put a man on for Victorino. Hey fans, the Angels host the Twins on a Wednesday at 7:05. Fans in attendance will receive a Hawaiian Rally Monkey, courtesy of Sungevity while supplies last. Purchase your tickets at the stadium box office, or you can do so online. Wow, that's out in the batter's eye, center field.
Lots of them.
Yeah. Maybe that's the problem tonight. Got to shock the monkeys out of this tree.
Oh, yeah.
Get them out of there.
Well, Peter Gabriel for you?
Yeah. Victorino 1 for 2 with a single. He went down and got an 0-2 changeup. Flipped it out to left field. His last at bat. He just thrown one double play tonight. That was in the fourth. Check swing, and that got away from Iannetta. I think that's a pass ball.
With a check swing. Right off the glove of Chris Iannetta, gets away. Pass ball. Runner in scoring position now.
Napoli wasn't on the move, so I'm not sure what Chris was coming out of his crouch like that. One ball, two strikes. Grado lifts one out toward left center. Napoli will head back to second, 2 down.
All speed pitch upstairs in the strike zone. And if you're Richards or Santiago, you got to make a mental note of what the kind of pitches it's Victorino likes to go after. He'll go after the high pitch, but doesn't get his hands up through the baseball as well as the pitch down in the strike zone. 6 2/3 so far for CJ. Very solid. There's 4 hits allowed.
Hannigan, the catcher, will walk and a strikeout. '97th pitch of the night for CJ. But Miley returns to the hill in the bottom of the 7th. Will do so with 84 pitches thrown in the night. Amazing number. The fact is 48 strikes out of those 84. The way he's pitched, it seems like he's thrown more strikes. Just missed off the plate, 2-1.
Yeah, he hasn't missed by a whole lot. And everything has been downstairs. CJ with 98 pitches, 60 strikes. Pretty solid number of strikes with the pitches thrown tonight for CJ. Generally he's around that 60 to 62% range as far as strikes to balls during the course of a game.
Hannigan skies one to center field. Trout is there. 7th inning stretch time here at the Big A, and the Angels have Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols coming up. Still looking for that first hit. T. Add us now to receive exclusive sneak peeks and behind-the-scenes access to your favorite SoCal teams. Bottom of the 7th, Cole Calhoun ready to lead things off against Wade Miley, who's yet to allow a hit tonight. Just one base runner, and that was the one-out walk to Chris Iannetta in the 6th. Three infielders on the right side. Sandoval, the third baseman, off the bag. First one to Cole is drilled out towards straightaway center field. Mookie Betts racing back. That's over his head. Off the wall. Cole on his way to second. He is in there with a leadoff double.
Boy, aggressive right there by Cole. First pitch was upstairs. Got a fastball. Not many pitches have been elevated. Cole Calhoun jumps in at his 16th double. It's a rocket to dead center field. What a swing. Good level swing. Then try to pull that baseball. And this ball smoked the center. You can hear that sound off the wall. What a swing by Cole.
There's Trout. A ground down and a strikeout. You talk about a perfect textbook swing. That was it for Cole. Trout takes that fastball upstairs.
Good count, do some damage. Maybe we'll go a little wrecking ball against Miley right now.
Miley Cyrus.
Yes. We're bringing it all together here tonight.
Oh, Tommy Topper. Trout reaches out for this one out toward right center field. Betts still going back at the wall. He'll make the catch. Cole tags, will head to third. That ball had some serious carry as Trout seemed to essentially just reach out for that one. One out.
How strong he is. That's an all-speed pitch. A good pitch for Miley. 1-0, one changeup. This pitch is down and away. And still, good part of the battle in baseball, he's that strong. He hit the ball that far to right center field. Right up towards the wall. That's such great coverage out in the outfield. You have to get it over the wall to get it by him. Or through the wall like Cole Calhoun did.
Infield in with the man at third and one out. And Albert at the plate. Pujols 0 for 2. A strikeout and a ground out. Strike. That pitch looked like it missed in off the plate. Bob Davidson, however, tonight has been ringing up strikes tonight on both sides. Down low. Angels with action in their bullpen. Right-hander Trevor Gott getting ready. Boston has the top of its order coming up in the 8th. 1-1 pitch. That is skied. It's not going to be deep enough to score Calhoun. Victorino calls everybody off, makes the catch. 2 outs.
With the infield in, the infielders have to go back quickly. Victorino sensing that. That's why that coverage, a lot of coverage out where he caught that baseball almost in the dirt in the infield. How far Victorino had to go to make that play. And Betts ran in there, gives him a high five. And man, you went a long way to catch that pop up.
So it's up to Eric Ibar with 2 outs and Cole standing at third. 0 for 2 tonight. In the dirt, nice block by Hannigan. Keeps the baseball in front.
Miley with only 3 wild pitches on the season. Almost it was 4th. But Hannigan's so solid defensively. You talk about perfect technique. Glove down, squared up the shoulders, keeps that ball in front. Turned his shoulder enough to keep that ball from going to his right. Keeps that ball deflected right on the plate.
Changeup down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Ibar with a .259 batting average with men in scoring position this year. .238 when there are 2 outs. Cole a leadoff double. Trout a deep fly ball moving Cole to third, and Pujols popped out. 2-0 ground ball toward the hole. It's going to be a tough play for Bogaerts. Off balance throw. Ibar is out at first. Nice play by Xander Bogaerts to keep this a scoreless tie as we head to the top of the 8th.
That's one of the better plays you're going to see at that shortstop position by Bogaerts.
C.J. Wilson, who's back on the hill. No score between the Red Sox and the Angels. I'm Patrick O'Neill. Stick around after this game for Angels Live. Tim Salmon and Jose Mota will join me. Alex Curry has the interviews. And hopefully the topic of conversation as the Angels are able to scratch across a run and win this game. At least they got the hit. Perhaps a little tense in that Angels dugout now before the game. Definitely not. It was so loose, in fact, that Mike Scioscia answered a telephone call during the media scrum of a local television cameraman. They had about a 2-minute conversation. I don't know who was on the other end, but he did not believe it was Mike Scioscia. Maybe Scioscia needs to get that guy back on the horn and call in some runs. We go back inside to Victor and Mark.
That guy on the other end of the phone call must have never seen The Simpsons. It was clearly Mike Scioscia.
You know you've arrived when you've been on The Simpsons.
Yeah,
Mike Scioscia has.
C.J. Wilson back out of the mound here in the 8th, to the top of the order. And it's an 0-2 count on Mookie Betts, the center fielder. 0 for 3 tonight with 3 fly ball outs. To go back to the bottom of the 7th, terrific play by Xander Bogaerts to throw out Ibar. Keep this game scoreless as Betts cues this one foul, and it's still at 0-2.
Boy, C.J. Bet has been impressive tonight. 10 times in this game he's been ahead of the count, 0-2. 102 pitches thrown, 64 strikes for C.J. That was an amazing play by Bogaerts.
This one skied to shallow right center. Trout's there. 1 down.
Because Trout has been playing a much more shallow center field and makes that easily. I like what Dino Ebel has done with Mike Trout. Have him buy into that idea of playing more shallow and comfortable going back on the baseball. Take away those flares in front of him. And I'll tell you what, he's played the best center field he has wearing that Angel uniform. We know we could do with the bat, but he's been playing outstanding defense. Basically won that game when CJ pitched well against the Yankees with the 2 of those great plays against Chris Young alone in center field.
Pedroia lifts one out to left. Robertson back a couple of steps. 2 down.
And now it's time. The top tier play of the game brought to you by Arco. Bogaerts with an unbelievable play. How quickly and smoothly he made this play. And that's against Eric Ibar, who runs well.
Miley's liking that play. The range and the arm strength and made it look so easy. Bogart's a special player, an all-star player for the Red Sox.
Otherwise, we're talking about a 1-0 Angels lead. The Halo's still batting. Bogart looks at the strike. 1 for 3 tonight, doubled in the first. A fielder's choice in the third, struck out in the sixth. Another 0-2 count. Cesar Ramos playing catch right now. Gott's ready to go if necessary. 107 pitches for Wilson.
Another 0-2 count once again for CJ.
Ground ball right side. Pujols has it. CJ very late getting off the mound. And now goes an infield base hit. Didn't matter where Albert threw that baseball. CJ was not going to beat Bogarts to the bag.
And what a play by Pujols, too. We talked about maybe needing a play made defensively, and Albert certainly made an outstanding play here, showing good range. And CJ late getting over there. Making sure CJ's all right as he went into a slide head first after he was unable to catch the baseball.
Infield base hit for Bogarts. The 5th hit for Boston tonight. Butcher just giving a CJ an opportunity to catch his breath here. Bogarts 4 stolen bases this season. It's been caught once. Now Bob Davidson out to break up the meeting.
It's a long conversation there. A lot of smiles, though.
Ortiz tonight with a couple of singles, a couple of flares out to center, 2 for 3.
And if you're CJ, your mindset is David Ortiz, finish off this inning. This will be my last batter of the game. Finish it off, put yourself in position to pick up a W with a run scored or more in the bottom of the 8th inning. I go 3 in a row just like that.
No one outside. Nice dig by Ionetta. Junichi Tazawa getting ready now. Halos in the bottom of the 8th inning. A Freeze, Crone, and Ionetta duo. Gott's ready, as is Ramos. Although Ramos not on the mound any longer. And now he's back up. A 2-out infield single for Bogart. The 1-1. This one out toward left field. Slicing away from Robertson. He's there. He will squeeze it. It's the 3rd out of the 8th. We'll head to the bottom of the frame. Terrific performance by C.J. Wilson tonight. We're still scoreless. One hit, one walk for Miley tonight against the Angels. Freeze 0 for 2. Twice is grounded out. Once a short, once a second. Foul back
on that pitch. They're going to drive that one to right center field. Almost elevated enough to do some damage.
Off the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Tozawa ready to go in the pen if necessary. 96 pitches now for Miley. 2-1. Foul back. An ever effective changeup tonight for Miley.
It's always located well, just off the outside corner, down, where all you can do is hit that ball to right field on the ground.
8 innings tonight for CJ. 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, done for the night. That is upstairs. Full count. Miley has 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 1 hit. Three-two. Jamming with a fastball.
Remember last year out of the All-Star break, just before the break, the club was really swinging the bats well. Then all of a sudden you have that 4-day break. The offense, the timing not quite there. The pitching staff really performed well after the All-Star break. We're seeing it here tonight for C.J. Wilson, an outstanding 8 innings.
And there's a leadoff walk to start the 8th. I imagine we'll get a pinch runner here. Taylor Featherson to pinch run for Freeze. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong's fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag WestDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. So Featherson takes over at first. John Farrell makes his way to the mound. That is going to be it for Wade Miley. A pinch runner and a new pitcher coming on to relief. Miley gets a nice round of applause from the Red Sox faithful here. We're still scoreless in the 8th. One hit, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. He's responsible for the base runner at first base. The walk to Freeze. It's Featherson pinch running at first, and the new pitcher is the right-hander Junichi Tozawa. Are in and out. Who's in? Who's out?
Tozawa has a good fastball. It's 91 to 96. slider, curve, and a very good split finger fastball. There's about 22%. Those pitches are split finger fastballs.
Tazawa pitching this 40th game, 1-3 mark. 2.58 ERA. 40 strikeouts and 7 walks. He'll face C.J. Cron here with the man at first base.
One thing Mike Scioscia is not afraid to do with C.J. Cron at the plate is put a hit and run on.
Cron tonight 0 for 2, a ground ball to short and a fly ball to center. Taylor always with a big lead at first base. First pitch swing, it's popped up. Mike Napoli calling for it. One out.
When C.J. Cron was upset, he had a pretty good pitch to drive, and that went straight up in the air.
Chris Arnett 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout and a walk. Quick throw to first.
Pretty quick move. Tazawa's allowed 3 stolen bases in 4 attempts this year.
Got that little extra kick from the stretch.
If you time him right, you should be able to get a pretty good jump against him. Pedersen with a couple stolen bases this year.
And then fouls it back. I've had a 2 for 3 in his career against Tazawa. He's drawn a couple of walks. 2 hits have been a double and a triple. Oh, 1. Foul tipped into the bit. High fastball at 94.
Usually you'll see a split finger fastball now.
That's off the plate. Tazawa was signing with the Red Sox prior to 09. The big leagues, pitching 6 games that year, made 4 starts, but he's been pretty much exclusively out of the bullpen since then. Installed 2010 with Tommy John surgery. 1-2 now. Down low.
There's that split. Pedersen has a huge lead over first base.
He's not shy with that lead. Never has been this year. A guy that, when you look at his minor league numbers, has been a burner, but pretty good base runner. What we've seen here the first 3.5 months at the major league level is a Rule 5 pick.
See how big that lead is.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Pedersen takes off. Inetta shoots one out toward right field. Victorino moving toward the line is there. He'll make the catch. Featherston turns back, heads back to first, and safe at first base. Nice effort by Victorino. I'm sure the Red Sox might take a look at it. Big stretch by Napoli, too.
Yeah, they were all looking in the dugout to see if John Farrell was going to challenge that one. What a play by Victorino. Perfect throw also. like they're going to take a look at it. See right here, this angle.
That angle looked like easily got back to the bag.
That hand got stopped by the foot right here. It looks like his hand's on the base.
Yeah. It was David Rackley, the second base umpire, that came over to make that call.
The left hand definitely didn't get in there quick enough, but it looked like the right hand did.
Yeah.
Well, you got stuck with the left hand going back.
Doesn't matter if the right hand slides off the bag. Once the hand touches the base, if the hand comes off, then it has to be a tag play.
Exactly. And it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Safe. See right here, hand on the bag before the baseball even in the glove of Napoli.
So the Red Sox did challenge that. That was not a crew chief challenge. So the Red Sox out of challenges now. The 2 outs, man at first, and here's Robertson. Quick throw to first, and he almost throws it away. May have hit Taylor.
See that big lead he has. Quick footwork. Looked like it got a piece of it and then into the glove of Napoli.
Roberts, it's a 9-0 for 2. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, when you talk about leads for guys at first base, is how comfortable you are diving back to the base. And right now, clearly, that Featherston feels he can get back even with a good move from Tazawa. So he's going to get as big a lead as he can. Give him a better opportunity to steal the base if given the green light. You look at Mike Trout, he's a little bit shorter lead. He's comfortable getting that first step and being quick at reading a pitcher. Guessing what pitch is going to be thrown, too, is important. That guy you're not going to steal a base against. You're not going to get a big lead against Miley. He is very quick to first, very difficult to get a read against. We saw that with Iannetta.
3 balls and no strikes. And that's the indicator for any base runner. As you get out as far as you can, you see that A move, and that's where you all of a sudden you find that comfort zone. All right, this is my point. Or I need to take a little half step back or take an extra half step. I have enough time.
Exactly. Now this is one of those times we want to stay shorter and closer to the base. It's going to be a take here from Robinson. You want to bring up Giavitello, who's been great in these situations.
There's a strike. Top part of the strike zone, 3-1. Couple of arms getting ready for the Red Sox in their bullpen. Alexi Ogando, the right-hander, Tommy Lane, the lefty. Joe Smith ready to go in the pen for the Angels. (3-1). Featherston takes off, and this is lined out to left field. It's going to hang up for Hanley Ramirez, and he squeezes it for the 3rd out. So we head to the 9th. Still scoreless. Wilson after he went 8 innings tonight. Smith to face Ramirez, Sandoval, and Napoli here in the 9th inning for Boston. Joe did a nice job pitching in his 39th game. 3-2 record at 2.72 ERA. 32 strikeouts, 9 walks, 36 and a third as Taylor Featherston stays in the game and will play third.
So it's been very solid. 3-2. ERA. 32 punch-outs. 36 in the third innings pitch for Joe Smith. Good little two-seam fastball, keeps down, ground ball machine. Very good sweeping slider also.
Wilson tonight, 8 innings, 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. Hanley Ramirez, the left fielder, 0 for 3. A couple of fly ball outs and 1 double play ball. Oh, 1 count. Ball with a strike. Hanley Ramirez 1 for 7 his career against Joe Smith. Featherston toward the line at third. 2 balls, 1 strike. Careful with Hanley. Starting to heat up, especially with the long ball prior to the All-Star break. Homering in 4 of his last 9 games, 6 of his last 15. He's the team leader with 19. Missed it. 3-1.
Trying to run that two-seamer in to jam him.
Full count. Pablo Sandoval on deck, and then Mike Napoli. Payoff pitch. That is a called strike. 3 on the outside corner. Down goes Hanley. 1 down.
Boy, did he paint that pitch. Right on the outside corner after a number of pitches on the inner half. Now with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball located perfectly on the outside corner at the knees. Look at our Fox tracks. See exactly where that pitch ended up being. Hitting the spot framed well by Iannetta. Davison ringing him up.
Sandoval looks at a strike. Third baseman walked and has grounded out twice, so he's 0 for 2. No runs, 5 hits, no errors, 7 left on for Boston. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 3 left on for the Angels. Halos at the top of the order coming up at the bottom of the 9th. 0-2. This is line to left field. Hit well. Robertson got turned around a little bit. Makes the catch. 2 outs. Hey, follow the Angels all season long with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet today. Napoli 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a pop-up, and a walk. Back up the middle, hits the shin of Joe Smith, ricochets to Ibar. That is the third out, and that is the hard way. And Joe limping off the field, and that is not a good sign considering already with Houston Street dealing with that groin issue.
That baseball was hit extremely hard off the leg of Joe Smith. Hopefully he's okay. Finishes off the inning.
Head to the bottom of the ninth. Still scoreless. Butcher after taking that liner off the right shin. Napoli smoking one right back up the box, and it got Joe at the landing area. It ricocheted right to Ibar. They got the third out, but Joe walked off gingerly. And there's no doubt that Napoli got every bit of that baseball. And it seems as if Joe, with the smiles that he had in the dugout, nothing serious. They've got him just to the right side of the shin. So it was not a direct hit. Now you, my friend, suffered a broken leg because of that, right?
Yes. Every time I see those line drives back at a pitcher, because you land, you got all your weight on your body, and that baseball's back at you so quick. You know, you try to avoid making contact with your body. You can't get your glove down there quick enough after you release the baseball at times. So that's a scary moment. He seems to be fairly comfortable in the dugout.
Koji Uehara, closer for the Boston Red Sox, comes into the game here in the ninth inning. 37th game, 2-3 mark, 2.45 ERA. He has 22 saves on the season, but this, of course, not a save situation, but he's dealing with the top of the order. Giavotella, Calhoun, and Trout. Johnny tonight 0 for 3.
Certainly these are his moments for Giavotella. He likes the spot. A little different approach with his swing.
2-0 count. Uehara takes over for Tazawa, who went 1 inning, retired all 3 guys he faced, Crow, Inett, and Robertson. After Miley led off the inning with a walk in the 8th. 2-0. Strike off speed pitch.
He'll throw a changeup and a split finger fastball, and that overpowering spots his fastball exceptionally well.
Fouled back. There's that high fastball Johnny likes so much. Evens a count of 2-2. Giavotella for 1 in his career. The only guy with multiple hits against Uehara in his career is Matt Joyce, 2 for 10. Lifted in the air, playable. Shallow right. Pedroia is out there. 1 down. Johnny chasing a pitch nowhere near the strike zone.
Over aggressive. You're on the mound, you sense that, especially for a hitter who likes to chase high fastballs. You just go a little bit higher.
Cole got the Angels' only hit of the ball game, leading off the 7th. That was a double off the center field wall. 16th of the season. Eventually stranded at third base. The Angels 0 for 3 tonight with men in scoring position. Taps this one foul. Calhoun 0 for 4 against Uehara. Trout, who's on deck, 0 for 5.
Uehara's only given up 2 home runs in the 33 and the third innings pitched this year. Very difficult to square up the baseball. If you can make a mistake upper part of the strike zone with his fastball, you could do some damage against him.
Cole taps it foul. It's 1-2. Here comes the 1-2. Down in the dirt. Two now. And Cole chases the off-speed pitch. 2 down. So bases clear. 2 outs here tonight for Trout. Hitless tonight. Mike is grounded out, struck out, hit a fly ball to center. More towards right center field, but it was caught by Betts.
And always good on something down in the strike zone, Trout. A lot of split fingers from Uehara.
First pitch fastball for a strike. That is driven out to left center.
Forget about this one. Drive home safely. 1-0 walk-off. Absolutely insane by Trout. How does he do it? He thrills you at the All-Star game, and the first game back, he thrills us here at the Big A with a walk-off home run. Home run number 27. Albert, his buddy, his